Okay, so today we're going to introduce solving by substitution. Let's go ahead and take a few minutes on your own and try to solve for y for the warm-up up here. So you can go ahead and pause this for a few minutes, solve for y, and then in this one solve for x. In order to solve for y in my first one, I know that x is -5. So I'm going to take that -5 and I'm going to substitute it in for x in my first equation. That'll get me what y is. So rewrite the first equation, -5, because I got that for x here, plus 2y equals 8. Now I add 5 to both sides because I want to get y by itself. So I'm adding 5 to both sides. The reason why I'm adding is because this is a negative here, and adding would be an opposite. So add 5 to both sides. So I'm going to get 2y equals 13. Next, I have 2 times y equals 13. Well, I need to get y by itself. So I need to do the opposite of multiplication, and that is division. So divide by 2, divide by 2. Y equals 13 divided by 2 is going to get us 6.5. Okay. Next, we know that y is -1 for this, so we're going to go ahead and substitute that in my first equation to solve for x. So -1 equals -7x plus 13. Okay. Now subtract 13 from both sides. Okay, cancels out over here. -1 plus -13, or -1 minus 13 is going to get me -14 equals -7x. So we have -7 times x. The opposite of timesing or multiplying would be dividing. So -7, divide by -7 on both sides. Okay, this cancels out. I'm left with x equals -14 divided by -7, negative, double negative become a positive 2. Okay. Now let's take a look at the next section. We have where we're going to be doing substituting. Okay, so we're looking at the same problems we just worked, okay? But now they want us to take the variable that we got in those and substitute them in. So in the previous one, for this one, I solved that y was equal to 6.5. So I'm going to take my -5 for x plus 2 times 6.5 equals 8, okay? Because I solved up here that y was 6.5, they're telling us that x is -5, and I'm just seeing if this is a proper solution for this equation. So bring down that -5 plus, and then you have 2 times 6.5. Well, use your calculator. That's going to be 13 equals 8. Okay, -5 plus 13 would get you a positive 8 equals 8, so that would be a solution. Okay, so we checked it, it works. Next, we're going to take what we solved for x up here and plug it in right here. So we know that y is -1, so -1 equals -7 times positive 2 plus 13. Okay, bring down that -1 equals -14 plus 13. -14 plus 13 equals -1. So yes, they equal each other, they're a solution. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky, okay? This is the meat of it. So let's substitute by replacing the first equation into the next scenario, okay? For y in the second equation. So we're going to take, we know that y equals 2x minus 7. So I'm going to take this information and replace it with that y, okay? So what this looks like is in here, I'm going to take this equation, okay, 4 plus, okay, And y is 2x minus 7. So I'm going to write right here 2x minus 7. Okay? Then equals 12. So this right here is really just this. Okay? It's telling me that y equals 2x minus 7. So I'm taking what y equals and I'm replacing it in here. So I have all x's, so I can solve for x. Combine your like terms. 4 minus 7 gets you negative 3 plus 2x equals 12. Add 3 to both sides. 2x equals 15. Divide by 2. Divide by 2. Okay? X equals 7.5. But I'm not done because I don't know what y is. So I'm going to take that, what x equals, and for 7.5, and I'm going to take that and I'm going to plug it in for x right here. So y equals 2 times 7.5 minus 7. Okay? Y equals 2 times 7.5, that gives us 15 minus 7. Well, what's 15 minus 7? Y equals 8. So my solution to this would be 7.5 comma 8. Okay, this is your x and this is your y. Now go ahead and try the next one on your own. Okay, go ahead and pause it, rewind, whatever you need to do. Okay. All right, so now we are going to try and get x by itself, okay? Because this equation does not have a y, so that way I know it's easiest to get x by itself over here, okay? So I'm going to take this, and I have 3x equals 8. I'm going to divide by 3. Cancels out. X equals 8 over 3. That's a value, that's my answer. I'm going to take that and substitute it in here. Okay, so 3 times 8 over 3 plus y equals 15. Okay, this becomes a fraction. Well, this is a fraction, so I'm going to change this 3 to a fraction and go 3 over 1 times 8 over 3 plus y equals 15. 3 and 3 cancel out. I'm left with 8 plus y equals 15. Subtract by 8. Y equals 7. Okay, so my solution to this, x, is 8/3 and y is 7. And that would be my solution. Okay. Now here's just an anchor chart for you guys, to solve. Okay. You can use this when you're using a substitution method. So here is my system of equations. Okay. Here's them split apart. Okay. So we just took this one, placed it here, this one, placed it here. Okay. So my first step, I'm going to solve one equation for one variable, and that can be either x or y. Okay. So in this case, this is going to be the easiest to solve for, so I'm going to add 5 to both sides. I get y equals 2x plus 5. Okay, so that is solving for y. We completed our first step. Our next step is substitute the expression that you got from step 1 into the other equation. So I'm going to take this solution for y and put it in this equation right here. Okay, I'm going to substitute it in, replace that y with the 2x plus 5. So I write 3x equals, well, y is 2x plus 5, 3x plus, equals 10. Okay, then combine your like terms. Okay, 3x plus 2x gets us 5x plus 5 equals 10. Subtract 5 from both sides, cancels out. 5x equals 5 divided by 5 divided by 5. X equals 5 divided by 5 is 1. So I know what x equals, and that equals 1. So I'm going to take that x, and I'm going to solve for y. So I'm going to take that x, put it back into this equation for x. So I have y equals 2 times 1 plus 5. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 5. Y equals 7. So my answer to this solution is going to be x is 1, y is 7. Okay. Sorry, I kind of got ahead. Step 3, you're going to substitute the value you got, okay, from step 2 into either equation. Then step 5, you're going to check your solution, and you're going to write your solution as a point, x and y. Okay. That is your notes for this unit, for this topic. Go ahead and work on the maze worksheet.